Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy to be here with you because I have some good news to share. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been in conversation with people. I was on the phone with a client the other day, and she was just freaking out on the government shutdown. And how can we, as nonprofits, raise money in this situation? And then I talked to another friend, and she was freaking out about the economy. Stock market's up, stock market's down. Then I was talking to another friend who was freaking out about a local political situation and their ability as a nonprofit to thrive in those conditions. So I hear you because a lot of you in this room might be feeling that same thing. So I'm telling you, I hear you and I feel you. And also, I can help. So, as my grandpa used to say, there's always something, right? There's always gonna be stuff around us. There's always gonna be a storm. And our ability to survive that, right, and not just to survive, but thrive, is really the key to long-term stability and growth for your nonprofit organization. Here's what I know, is that 70% of giving comes from individuals, not foundations, not corporations, not the government, from people, right? And our ability to connect with them and bring them into our organization as long-term loyal donors is the key to us determining the future of our organization. So no matter what's up right here, we know where we're going. Does that sound like something you'd want to do and want to have in your organization?
Yes.
Which is cool because that's what I'm going to teach you. So I'm going to teach you the brand of attraction. And I have a 7-step process for instituting a brand of attraction in your organization so that you can grow your brand in a way that makes it visible to like-minded people, so the money, the people, the volunteers, the members, whatever you need is flowing to you. And it relieves that everyday stress of, how am I going to survive this? Where is that going to come from? Right? Because the energy, the money is flowing to you, and it is real and it is possible, and I'm going to give you some examples. So I'm going to go through the first step, and the first step is your audience. So if I have a brand of attraction, who do I want to attract? And these are like the people who love you. Because when we talk about fundraising, we go heart, mind, wallet. So it starts with the love relationship. And here's the cool thing, is that it's not your job to convince people to care about your organization. It's your job to find like-minded people and connect with them. So stop convincing, start connecting, okay? So having that in mind, we're gonna design our audience around what those things are, right? Who are those people that you really wanna connect with? Step 2, assess. Assessment is just looking at your current marketing and say, how well does that align with the audience that I just selected? And how well does it align with step 3, which is your brand promise? So step 3, the brand promise, is where your brand actually meets the market, right? And so the first 2 steps are really like an internal guide. The third step is really what people experience. And a brand promise is that promise that you make every interaction that you have. So I'm going to give you an example of a brand that I'm sure we're all familiar with, and that is Target, okay? Who loves Target? Target is like a recreational activity, right? So my kids are adopted, and when I became a new mom, I got a 3-year-old. And you don't get a lot of ramp up time in adoption, right? So I said to mom, I'm panicked. I'm like, what do I do with a 3-year-old? And my sister's like, well, what do you like to do? I'm like, I don't know, I like to go to Target. She goes, take him to Target. And I literally learned how to parent my kid just walking through Target because I liked being there. And so what's Target's brand promise? Target's brand promise is you're gonna have a great experience in this store. Right? And even though they talk about value, they would never sacrifice value for that store experience. And so like contrast that to Walmart, because I can't get out of that place fast enough, right? But they don't promise me that, so it's okay. They promise me value, which they do deliver. So let's talk about a brand from a nonprofit perspective. And while I'm talking, I would love for you all to think about what your organization's brand promise is, okay? Because these are nonprofits just like you. They're not big and rich. They are just using the steps to the brand of attraction. So I work with an organization called Justine Peterson, which is not a person, it's an organization named after a person. And they give loans to low and moderate income people to start businesses or buy a home. And it's really, really cool. One of the programs they have is for men coming out of prison, felons, to start their own business because the likelihood of them getting employed is very low. And what their brand promise is you are worthy of investment, right? When no one else would think you're worthy of investment, they say you are worthy of investment. Like, I'm getting chills just thinking about it because I love them so much. And so when we look at that brand promise, like, what does that really mean? Because we don't say it, we feel it. So how can I feel that? Well, they feel it when how the receptionist answers the phone. You feel it when you step into a building. You feel it when you look at their annual report or you visit their website. You feel that idea of our people are worthy of investment. And it permeates everything they do. And in fact, next year, we're going to be working on their staff as an internal audience so that their staff knows that they are worthy of investment. So we're going deeper into the organization with this. My next example is another organization called Oasis. It's a national organization with chapters all over the country. And we worked with them on creating a brand promise because they work with older adults to get them active in life. So educational opportunities, recreational opportunities, volunteer opportunities. So our brand promise to them was this idea of being young at heart. So for Oasis, which is a weird name, which doesn't mean a lot, it's a British rock band and probably a million pool companies, right? So it doesn't mean a lot to people. So we gave that name meaning, and we came up with that idea of being young at heart. And so when we look at what they were presenting to the public, does this say young at heart? Do these photos say young at heart? Spoiler alert, they did not, right? Do the materials say young at heart? They did not. That's okay, then now we know what we need to communicate and we can go back and make those adjustments, right? So that leads us to step 4, which is your message.